right, welcome to Choice. We have an exciting new product launch that we would like to talk about here.
Yeah.
It's our Select program, and we're going to talk about it with Spencer Walters. Go ahead, Spencer. Let's hear about it.
You know, you're so always so animated when we jump into this stuff and we talk about new service contracts.
So excited.
Yeah, I get you a lot of credit. It's hard to get excited about new products, but
I do.
yeah, it's something that I think the reason why we keep evolving is because we try to see like what's changing in the marketplace, like what new products do we need to develop to stay relevant and to be able to help our dealers. And one of the reasons why we created Select was banks were cutting people back considerably, right? So it's like I want to be able to sell a service contract, but if the bank's cutting me back and only allowing me, say, $1,000 in back end, I really couldn't sell them an exclusionary policy. I wanted to give the customer good coverage, but I also needed to fit within the margins that the bank was allowing.
With what's the economy's going to offer and what the situation and the market is demanding.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, perfect.
So Select is based on our Level 3 coverage. If you've seen our Choice Auto Protection Plus program, Level 3 it's still named component coverage, but it's one step below exclusionary. So it's got a lot of comprehensive coverage. There's only one program on the Select, so there's not like multiple tiers. It's just Select. So it's really easy to understand.
Okay,
like
cool.
all the contracts are the same, and in Choice fashion, everything is kind of like an a la carte, right?
Right.
So you can change quite a bit of the coverages. This can apply to just about every vehicle. There's no limitation. So put this on a Ferrari.
Oh.
You could put it on a Fiat. You could put it on a, I don't know, 1999 Chevy Impala if you wanted to. So there's not a lot of limitations. We're going to go back 30 years on this program.
Cool.
Under 200,000 miles. And the Select program does allow for commercial use. We do allow for lifted trucks, like a majority of all of our other programs.
Right.
You can get coverage for mobility equipment because we do have quite a few mobility dealerships. It's a space that we've done really well in, is the mobility space, and we didn't want to exclude that segment of our business because it does make up quite a bit.
Right.
And then gray market, so imported cars, Canadian, salvage title, rebuilt titles, all that also falls under. So there's a surcharge for those, but you can write them on the Select program, which makes it widely available.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Our surcharges, and some people love our surcharges, some people hate them, but I think what it does is it allows you to customize and curtail that policy to those customers' needs. Like when I was in the F&I office, and I would tell a customer, hey, this service contract got roadside assistance, and it's got, towing coverage and rental car. They'd be like, I already have that coverage, I don't care.
Right.
And they would dismiss the rest of the value that I built on the policy, saying, well, I don't want roadside assistance. Well, that's not what I'm selling you. I'm selling you all this other stuff.
Right.
And try to portray the value of that, but they would only focus on the one segment they already had coverage for. They didn't want to pay for that.
Yeah, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. It's just once you hit there, then you're done.
Yeah, they're done. They're washed.
Right.
Their mind of that opportunity for me to sell them. So we have it as surcharge. So we have day one coverage. Otherwise, there's our standard stay on claims, which is 45 days and 1,500 miles. You have high-tech coverage, so you can add high-tech coverage. Now, in Level 3 in our traditional program, high-tech's not covered.
Okay.
There's a surcharge, and you can add high-tech to this policy. So you can get almost like an exclusionary policy on this contract. And with that high-tech, there's very few components of the vehicle that would be not covered.
Wow, that's a huge benefit.
Yeah. I mean,
consumer.
Especially when you talk about the cost, because this is about half of the price of a Choice Auto Protection Plus VSC.
Oh.
So, when you're seeing a price that's significantly less. Now, there are some limitations. We'll get over those, go into those as well. Seals gaskets is a surcharge. So you can get seals gaskets. There's unlimited mile coverage options. Otherwise, these are segmented into smaller mileage bands. So that's why we added the unlimited. So you've got a 1 year 10,000 mile, a 2 year 20,000 mile, a 3 year 30,000 mile. Then you also have a 1 year 20, a 2 year 20, a 3 year 20, and then a 1 year 30, a 2 year 30,
and
a 3 year 30. So it allows you to mess with the miles. And if those mileage bands are too small, then you can add the unlimited mile surcharge.
Yep.
Towing roadside assistance is a surcharge. So if you don't need it, take that to customers like I already got, what's that company? AAA. There you go. Thank you. If you already got that, okay, no problem. I want to add that. We do cover HEV and electric vehicles too as well. And then rental car reimbursement.
That's nice.
There's a huge number of deductible options. You got 0 to 1,000.
Oh, wow.
And again, that was the problem that we had, was like fitting it into those bank calls was super difficult. And then when the bank cuts you back and they allow you, okay, you got $800 in back end, you can't fit a service contract in there, or $900.
Right.
Now you can, and with good coverage, the customer is going to have some value add. So 0, 100, 250, 500, and $1,000 deductible options. Going down to the coverages, it's of course engine, including the water pump, turbocharger, supercharger, diesel vehicles. Of course, we're going to cover those diesel components. It's a diesel engine.
Mm-hmm.
Automatic transmission, manual transmission, drive axles, those are fine. Each of them has named components, so just making sure that you're reading the terms and conditions. Whether you're a distributor and you're selling this program to the dealer, or you're a dealer and you're considering like, hey, I want to offer this in my lineup, make sure your F&I team understands the liability limits of each, because each segment of coverage, right, each component has its own liability limit. That's why we're able to get those prices so low. Is what we did, we took our average claim amount across the entire company and said, okay, how much is the average engine replacement or rebuild for all makes, all models? And so for like on an engine specifically, the liability limit's $3,500. You might think, well, that's not a lot. But if you go across all of our makes, all of our models, all of our claims, that's more than enough coverage to repair or replace engines. That's far below what our average engine cost is. So for a majority of customers, that will work, but there's going to be some that are going to come out. They're going to come out of pocket for a small portion of that.
Correct.
So for the turbo and supercharger, I know we covered that as a covered component. There's a $1,500 liability limit there. Diesel is also $1,500. Automatic transmissions, $2,500. Manual transmission components, $2,500 as well. Drive axles, $1,500. Four-wheel drive is $2,000, so a little bit higher amount, and it's the lesser of the actual cash value or the $2,000. So, which obviously you're not going to be selling a $2,000 car, so that's not going to be a problem there. Right. So brakes, $1,500. Steering, $1,500. Electrical, $1,500. Air conditioning, $1,500. Fuel system, can you guess? $1,500. Suspension,
$1,500.
Engine cooling system,
$1,500.
Yeah, and then seals, gaskets coverage. There is coverage for corresponding failures. Of course, the seals, gaskets coverage does run out at 125,000 miles. And then the max liability limit for the entire policy is $6,000 or Kelley Blue Book, like wholesale value or trade value. So labor rate is $175 an hour. So now keep in mind, the majority of the United States, that's way more than enough coverage. And I think a lot of shops would be more than happy to take a $175 labor rate and not charge the customer the difference. And then we pay $100 for diag on this one. Again, this is not meant to, for some vehicles, this is not going to cover the entire cost of the repair.
Correct.
Based on these amounts, though, this is more than enough coverage for our average claim amount. So if you sold this on a Toyota Corolla, you're good. This is totally fine. You sell this on a Mazda 3, you're fine. But if you're selling this on a Mercedes, AMG, G-Wagon, this is not going to be close. It will offer the customer quite a bit of benefit compared to what they paid for it.
Correct.
But it's not going to cover that entire amount. So just knowing when this makes sense to sell it is the important component, because we don't want to misrepresent the product and its value.
Right. We want to engender that partnership on all aspects so that we're taking care of the customer as best we can.
Absolutely. Right. And education is key. Now, we did talk about mobility equipment. We cover up to, I guess, the amount, $1,500 for mobility equipment.
Look at that.
And $1,500 for the mobility equipment is most of the times it's like a motor that fails or like a lift gate or something like that. Those generally aren't more than $1,500. So the customer's going to have coverage for those components. And because there's a maximum of a 3-year policy, you really don't need, in a 3-year term, you're not going to have 2 engines, right? That are going to fail. Right. You're not going to have 2 brake systems that are going to fail. And that's where the liability limits make sense. You might think that's a low amount. This is not generally over our claim amount.
Right.
All of these amounts, and maybe this is information that I think a lot of people are interested to know, is what is our average claim amount? You'd know that better than I would, but our average claim amount is $1,800. So in most cases, that's fine. That's including those engine replacements and transmission replacements. So I think for a lot of folks, this will be more than enough coverage.
Correct.
So for the lifted trucks, we do cover lifts. I want to make sure everybody knows 6-inch max lift. 3-inch additional tire height over what's factory. So it's like what's on the door panel. Salvage, rebuilt, all those are fine. This option is not available for any vehicles that have TMUs, so true mileage unknown. So if the salvage,
so that messed with the odometer. And
yeah, for some reason, if we don't know what it is, this is not the policy for you.
Right.
Modified vehicles, intake and exhaust are fine. Doesn't change the functionality of the vehicle. You can't mess with the turbo. You can't mess it with the ECU. You can't put nitrous oxide. Or
right.
You're not running. You're not
racing and
no. You're not fast and the furious.
Drifting.
Your coverage will not be bound with choice auto protection if you're using this for street racing.
Right.
The day one coverage, as I mentioned before, it's a surcharge just like all these other items. And then high tech. Can you guess what the limit on high tech is?
On the seat, 1,500.
Yeah. So, and the reason why is not because we just wanted with something that's a simple answer of 1,500. It's because that's well over what our average maximum claim amount is
for that particular
segment of cars. Yeah, exactly. So for the high tech components, we're going to cover things like the sensor, the perimeter sensors, the backup cameras, the video sensor, the display screen. For almost every vehicle, you can replace those for under $1,500.
Right.
And because these are limited to a 3-year term, you're not going to go through 2 screens or 3 screens in that time frame. Exactly. If you are, then you're the one breaking it. It's not the technology.
It's not. Yeah.
So maintenance options follows our regular maintenance guidelines. So you can add maintenance to this program. I'll go over that in depth, but it just follows our regular maintenance guidelines. So if you've been selling choice, oil, tire rotates, those things, brake jobs, that is included. It's a surcharge, of course. And then roadside towing, $100 per incident, $200 maximum over the life of the contract. And rental car reimbursement is allowable in this contract, $35 a day, maximum benefit over the time of $175. So that's the basic basic tenets of the contract. Where this is available, as of recording this, it's available in just about every state.
Okay.
With the exclusion of California, Washington State, and I believe one more, maybe Hawaii.
Yes, Hawaii. Mm-hmm.
However, this is going to be something that is immediately available to all of our dealers, to our agents, to any of the other companies that offer our products. I think where this product fits in is where every other product doesn't. If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Because, a lot of the main reason, let's be honest, if you were buying a car from me and I told you, Brent, I got this great coverage for you for 3 additional years. It's a used car, so it's out of manufacturer warranty. Got all this coverage, it's $1. Would you like it?
I love it.
Okay, $1, everybody's going to buy it.
Yeah.
If I say, Brent, it's $10,000.
No, that's
no. So there's a tipping point where the cost, right? The value exceeds the cost.
Right.
So what we're trying to do is provide value to that customer that's like, hey, how much is this going to add to my payment? If they're financing it,
right? How
much is that going to add to my payment? If this is something small like $30, I think there's a few people that are going to say, well, I'd like to have some coverage. Right. Maybe I don't want the exclusionary program because I don't want it to change my payment. But at least if something does break, I've got a good subsidy.
You got something.
I almost liken it to like a high deductible health insurance plan.
Right.
Right. Like that's what I'm currently on with my family because I only really want to have catastrophic coverage. I'm pretty healthy. Family's pretty healthy. Mm-hmm. I don't go to the doctor very often, but in the event that I was to become very, very ill, I've got coverage to cover the major medical expenses. And that's kind of what I liken this to is it's going to cover a large portion of the repair, or in most cases, it's going to cover all of it.
Yeah.
But what it's not going to do is pay for, that $30,000 new AMG engine. And as long as your customer and you are both aware of the limitations, you're not going to have upset customers, but you have to make sure you're disclosing everything.
Right. And that's where the relationship comes in, understanding the contract, what it covers, and then understanding the pieces and components that build that up so that you can take care of your dealership from an agent perspective. And then from the dealership to a consumer perspective, you're taking care of your consumers and helping them have that coverage out there and have a little bit more of a peace of mind.
And even sometimes highlighting the stuff is important. I mean, Brent's experiences in technology, he's our COO. But, if you were to buy this policy from somebody and they went and highlighted all those basic tenets and gave you a copy of it, hey, keep this in your glove box. Keep this with your important papers. And I went over that and pulled that out. And I'm like, well, I didn't know that this only covered, $6,000. Well, I highlighted it on the paperwork that I gave you. That will eliminate those issues.
Well, and also on the flip side, if they have an issue with the screen, they take it in and then they remember that they purchased the high tech.
Yeah,
and that's a happy accident to have and happy reminder.
Yeah, yep, you got it. So that's kind of wrapping up really what the basic tenets of choice are.
Yeah.
This is active, it's available, and I would encourage you guys to add this to your dealer lineup as long as you take the time to educate all parties who'd be offering this policy, because I think this is a great secondary option for a lot of our dealers, even the big franchise groups. This is a great opportunity to be able to pick up a couple extra dollars in F&I, because the market's changing. Rates hopefully are going to start to come down.
We're starting to see them come down a little bit.
The auto market's going to be tough for the next, call it 6 months. And products like this, we hope to be able to help stabilize your profit margins.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yep. See you guys in the next one. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Bye.